I'll be that boy you gon' remember. I'ma be that boy you gon' remember. I'll be that boy you gon' remember. Till the Lord call my number. I'll be that boy you gon' remember. I'ma be that boy you gon' remember. That's right. I'll be that boy you gon' remember. Till the Lord call my number. The more than you were born to mine. I was told to watch my enemies and hold my line. Don't just speak against the prophet, they speak against me. Now I speak about the prophet over who I live. What's the first thing I find you and find you back? See what rock was Mississippi and come on. And here we go again. I like you a slave. Same people talking European how to pay. And looking at women by European hair. So not myself, I do the men that they care. Hair now, cause I gotta laugh for sure. Amigo, I can fuck, I can say something. I'll be that one you gon' remember. I'ma be that one you gon' remember. That's right. I'll be that one you gon' remember. Till the Lord call my number. I'll be that one you gon' remember. I'ma be that one you gon' remember. That's right. I'll be that one you gon' remember. Long call my number, the scholars holler. It's error for the workers. You ain't building on the ground, then you working at the worker. You know it sound good, but that's only on the surface. Probably working for me. Nothing was the purpose. Ain't worried about your homie, but know that I know every note that I can play is he ain't my bro. Yeah, you gon' hate. I done got it. And some got it right now. Don't say that I'm not down. I'm coming for my bad mistakes. I want my town. Scores, my school, my nation, sick and tired of the procrastination. And the hate, love is the same. We don't get straight on yourself. Plant such a neighbor. It's like you killing, fighting, murder out in your face. If you ain't for Moorish World, then get out of my face. Cause China love China. The Italians love 50. If you use it, that's the foot. I'll be that one you gon' remember. I'ma be that one you gon' remember. That's right. I'll be that one you gon' remember. I'll be that one you gon' remember. Hey, I'ma be that one you gon' remember. I'll be that one you gon' remember. Till the Lord call my number. I'll be that one you gon' remember. Be more. I'll be that one you gon' remember that time. I'll be that one you gon' remember. Till the Lord call my number. I'll be that one you gon' remember. Hello. I'll be that one you gon' remember. New York. I'll be that one you gon' remember. Till the Lord call my number. Islaaam, family. Islaaam. Welcome back to another edition of Moorish World TV. Shout out to Black Light. Shout out to Black Light representing Cleveland. Shout out to Roy Bishop. Got the square on deck. Listen. When I hear my music, it makes me want to do the robot. You know what I mean? Hey, man, listen. Check this out. Real soon, all of this music going to be available, family. It's going to be available for instant download, instant stream, and it's going to be available independently. Nobody will be able to control the revenue stream as it relates to Brother Tariq Bey or any of the Moors that associate with them. Ain't nobody getting a cut. I ain't giving nobody a cut. Family, I got breaking news that I'm going to give to you in the middle of the show, but I'm telling you, ain't nobody getting the cut. That's right. We're going to make sure that the Moors get every penny of their money. Now, shout out to Root Words. Root Words, we got, hey, with all due respect, we got a master friend of Taj in the building tonight. Root Words. Hold up. Before I bring him in, hey, Root Words, are you there, brother? Are you there, brother? Root Words. Do you know Mosi Bey? or Mosi Bey, somebody like to call him. Do you know this brother Root Words? This here, you talk about Taj Tariq-ites. This is the top of the line here. I got him here with me tonight. You take that. I got the big brother here with me tonight. I need everybody to share this one. Root Words, I need you to call the Canaanite Moors. I need you to call Moreno Bay. I need you to That's right. I need you to call all of those Moors that think they know something. Because we got the real deal here tonight. We got the real deal. I know y'all say, why are you yelling? Many people that come into the show like, why is he yelling? Family, I'm excited. It's called excitement. But we got the real deal tonight. I'm going to take a little time and say, listen, I'm not going to bring the brother in right yet. It's going to take a few minutes. Because we got over half a hundred people in the chat watching, but we only got 9 thumbs up. That don't make sense. How is that making sense? That math don't add up. Let me tell you why people want thumbs up, family. If you like the programming that you see, when you throw a thumbs up, nobody will tell you this. You think it's all ego. It's not ego. They won't tell you, but I'm going to tell you. When you throw a thumbs up in right there in the comment section, right underneath here, when you do that, what happens is it puts the video in higher rotation. And so if you like what Moorish World TV is doing, and you like the guests on the show, and you want the video or the stream to spread, what you do is give it a thumbs up, and it helps it to spread faster. Now, you know, I'm a hustler. I'm going to make sure it's spread. I will share this thing till the cows come home, if you will. But with your help, we can get it shared a little faster while we're streaming. So as we're moving up with the numbers, I say, family, let's get this started. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to open the floor. Let me say this. First and foremost, I rise and give praise to the great God of the universe, Allah. I give honor to his noble, illustrious prophet, Prophet Noble Drew Ali. I give honor to all things pertaining to the Moorish Science Temple of America and all the works that contribute to the building of the Moorish Science Temple of America, all those who make a contribution with the best that they have to work with, which Allah has blessed them with. I give honor to you, and I give honor to everybody in this chat, whether you proclaim or not Moorish American, because of course you could be somewhere else doing something else, but you chose to be with your brother. Huh? You chose to be with your brother Talib Bey and Mosi Bey tonight. So for that, you deserve honor. Because tonight, let me tell you something. I had to skim through the book a little bit. Now, y'all know last week we had a Mason on the show. And tonight, the show is Moors and Masonry. We're going to try to bridge the gap. We're going to try to bring forth some understanding. It represents an understanding where people always like to say, Moors are Mason. Masons can't be Moors. Moors can't be Mason. Hey, well, I'm going to open the floor to the brother. I'm going to yield the floor to the brother and let the brother explain his position. I'm not going to interrogate the brother, nor am I going to debate the brother. But what I will do is ask common questions of interest as it relates to those who have an interest in the Masonic school of thought or the Moorish Science Temple of America school of thought. That's what I will do. You see, that's what I will do. But me and this brother have been talking on and on for over a year. That's right, you Taj Tariq-ites. That's right, me and this brother. This is my brother. That's right. See, y'all don't know this type of stuff. Y'all don't know this type of stuff. We've been working on some things. So with that, family, we got a good relationship. In other words, we got a good relationship, good working relationship, and we are going to dig into the concepts. Shout out to Frederick Bay. Listen to what I'm saying. Most people think that I have something against Taj Tariq. Family, you're wrong. You're completely wrong. You're totally wrong. The only thing that may seem to be a problem is I see the Moorish sign symbol of America. Taj Tariq see the way that he teaches. That's it. I'm Drew Ali, MSTMA. That's it. I have no problem with that, brother. And you'll see with our relationship with my brother Mosi Bey that I have no problem with different concepts and different constructs of Moorish sign temple of America. But with that, that's enough of the introduction. There's 8 minutes of introduction. Show started 9:30 actually, and the brother is here. So first, let me just yield the floor to my brother Abdullah El Talib Mosi Bey. Are you on the line, my brother?
Islaaaaam. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Let me make sure your volume is right. So, brother, before you go in too hard or too far, let's make sure the people can hear you. So, family, press 1. Brother, say something else. Press 1, and let's make sure that they can hear you, my brother.
All right. Testing 1, 2, 3. Everyone out there can hear you. Can you hear me?
So, if y'all can hear the brother clear, please press 1 now. Y'all can hear the brother clear. Press 1 now, because we want to get this show on the road. You know, if y'all can hear, okay. They hear you good, brother. They hear you good. One more time, brother. Let me say one more time. This is the top of the line right here. Y'all talk about. I'm just playing. Brother, introduce yourself to the Moorish World TV audience. This is your first time on Moorish World TV. Introduce yourself, and the floor is yours, my brother, unless you want to yield and ask me something.
I am Abdullah El Talib Mosi Bey, all right? And I was also studied under Taj Tariq-ites for, I've known Taj for 25 years, and he and I had established newspapers together and so forth. I've been studying Masonry and its astronomical function for about 9 years when I began to come to light of what Masonry actually is and what those measurement tools and what they're called symbols. That's why I didn't say symbols. They're not symbols. What those measurement tools and astronomical markers are. It only appears to be symbols because people don't know it's their origin and true function. All right, so as I didn't, but through diligent study, reading hundreds of books and hundreds of articles with insight using etymology and epistemology. Epistemology is the branch of philosophy of how one knows knowledge. You know, and I began to make the connections, and then began to see that these are not symbols, but these are actual measurement tools and astronomical markers. And I'm saying, wow. So you asked a pertinent question, and that I'm going to let me address. Can Moors be Masons, and can Masons be Moors? Let's analyze that. Let's ponder on that. Can Moors be Masons? Can Masons be Moors? So let's start with, can Masons be Moors? Let me start with that. Now, some of you who are listening are very clear that Moor is a nationality, not a religion, not a secret society, not a club. It's the consanguinity, ancestry, national origin, descent, parentage, pedigree, bloodline of our people who are classified in the United States Census Bureau as Black, Negro, Colored, Latino, Spanish, Puerto Rican. All right? West Indian. So that's very clear. Can Masons be Moors? Now, what do you say? Well, can Masons be Moors? Or now you have our brothers and sisters who are classified as Black, Negro, Colored, who are Masons in the lodge and who are Eastern Stars. Well, they are already Moors, so not the question. So the question, in analyzing the epistemological fashion, can our brothers and sisters who are in the lodge and Eastern Star chapters be Moors? Well, they are Moors. So it's understanding what Moor is. Now, the question is, can Moors be Masons? Now, and what Masonry is. Except Masonry has been misrepresented as evil worshiping, as devil worshiping, as, you know, secret society, a cult, an organization that's trying to take over the world. It's all misrepresentation. I've drawn this analogy. Is chemistry a secret society or science? Chemistry can be studied in a secret society, but chemistry is not a secret society. Is physics a secret society, or is physics a science? There was math, combination of math and science application. That could be studied in a secret society, but physics is not a secret society. Biology. Is biology a secret society, or is biology a science? So biology could be studied in a secret society, but the biology is not a secret society. I said that to say this. Masonry is not a secret society. Masonry is the culture and philosophy of the Moors, and not a secret society. I'm paralleling Masonry with chemistry, astronomy, biology, physics. Not a secret society, though the philosophy and culture of the Moors are preserved and studied in a secret society that's controlled today by Europeans. So we're looking here. So Masonry in the hands of Europeans constitutes a stolen legacy of the Moorish estate. So that Moorish estate being the philosophy, the culture that's tied, the apron, the Moorish fez, the Moorish names, as the Shriners have used Moorish names for their 206 Moorish shrine temples throughout the world. The mystic order of the veiled prophets of the enchanted realm, known as the grottos, have used Moorish names for their grotto temples throughout the world. The Shriners have an annual parade that symbolically laid out that they are honoring the defeat of the Moors. So can Masonry? Is Masonry? Can Moors be Masons? And Masons be Moors? And looking at it epistemologically is breaking it down. What is a Moor? What is Masonry? So what I'm here to do tonight is to clarify both. So that question, so people can understand, we comprehend the question. Can Moors be Masons? Can Masons be Moors? So I can, go ahead, brother, you have a question before I go on.
Yeah. So since you asked, you say, so what about the argument that forget Moors? Speaking of the Moorish Science Temple of America, I think that's the real argument, because Moors can be whatever they want to be. That's not I don't believe that's the actual question. When you get to the detail of it, the argument becomes, do those and the members of the Moorish Science Temple of America have the necessity to be a Mason? And is it even to be a Mason? I'm talking about Prince Hall. I'm talking about joining an order. I'm talking about, I think that becomes the argument. What's the point of joining a Masonic temple being in the Moorish Science Temple of America? You understand what I'm saying?
I understand what you're saying. All right. But I'm going to make the point. I want to make the point clear, and I'm going to answer that. I want to make the point. I want to make the point clear that masonry is more science. So, but your question is not that. I'm clear on that. Your question is membership, joining an order. That's your question. Your question is not more science. Your question is not studying more science. The question is joining an order. Should a Moor who was a member of the Moorish Science Temple, in your question, join a Masonic order, it being a Prince Hall order, it being international order, new international, Prince Hall? Now the question is, if Moors who are members of the Moorish Science Temple know that masonry is more science, why would they join? They already have knowledge of more science. I'm assuming.
Yes.
I know some don't. There's some who do.
That's why I like you, brother. I'm starting to like you more now, brother.
So let me because I'm dealing with etymology, I'm dealing with epistemology. All right. So looking at Moorish science, what I do know, and talking, because I teach New York class, Philadelphia class, Maryland class, and I do ask the question. So what I'm saying is, those who I've taught at the Philadelphia class, New York class, who I've lectured, Chicago, Detroit, and so forth, I pose the question: what is more science? And when I ask that question, brother, this is what you hear. Hear me out. This is what you hear. Which means I'm dropping a pen. I'm dropping a pen. That means people are quiet. When I ask the question, and these are questions posed to those who've been studying on YouTube, who've gone to Moorish Science Temple, who've been involved for quite some time. I ask the question, what is more science? I hear a pen drop. Why is that? Why is a pen drop? Why can you hear a pen drop when I ask the question, what is more science? Why don't they know what more science is? So I think the Haka, not that I think, the Haka, the problem is that though you have nationalized Moors who don't know what more science is. I think that's what the problem is. Let's not talk about masonry, because it's one and the same. So when I'm using the word, talk about more science. They're not clear on what more science is. If they were clear on what more science is, they will be clear what masonry is, and they will recognize that it's one and the same. That what the issue is, Tahaka, is that they are parodying. They are parrots. They're saying more science. More science means that they're no different than a parrot, which means I can train a parrot to say more science. So they're no different. A parrot is saying more science. Someone in the Moorish Science Temple is saying more science. What's the difference? None. There's no difference. Because the parrot don't know what more science is. Neither do those in the temple and those out of the temple don't know what more science is. They're just parodying. All right?
Indeed.
So then they begin to ask, some vague, what is more science? Well, it's more science. It's the it's vague. But one thing that I've been doing out the House of Ram at Delaware, when I teach on every second Friday of the month, and I started doing this about 2 months ago, and I'll be doing it every time I teach there, every second Friday of the month. Then I asked the question, all right, this is evidence, this is clear, Tahaka. What the holy day? Why is Friday the holy day? Why is Friday the holy day? Well, that's the day man was made in flesh. Man was made in flesh. But why Friday? Why not Monday? Why not Tuesday? Why not Wednesday? Why not Thursday? Why not Saturday? Why Friday? Why is Friday the holy day? Why Monday's not the holy day? And I do that to provoke thought. And I know that a lot of people in the Moorish Science Temple and those who are out don't know what Moorish Science is. They're just parroting. Let me explain why Friday is the holy day. That's using epistemology, which is the branch of philosophy of how one knows knowledge, and etymology, which is the history, origin, and true meaning of words. Etymology, Friday, is the Old Norse word, free, F-R-I, so you have two words, F-R-I, a blending of two words, F-R-I, which is Freya, the Old Norse name for Venus, and day of Freya, Old Norse word for Venus, the planet Venus. So now, what is that? The planet Venus is the planet of fertility. Why is the planet Venus the planet of fertility? If you study the Mayan calendar is a 260-day calendar, which is tied to the morning star. Venus, the cycle of Venus you have the morning star, which is a 263-day cycle. That's the morning star, Venus. And the Venus calendar, the helical rising of Venus occurs at the end of March to mid-April. And that helical rising of Venus brings about the raining season. So it brings out the onset of rain for the corn maze and other vegetation to grow. So we charted this meticulous calculation of the rising or helical rising of Venus. So Friday is the Old Norse word for Venus, and that's why Friday is being the holy day, because that's the day of fertility tying to the Venetian calendar.
Okay, but can I interject for 1 second?
Absolutely.
So when you say why is Friday, do you even have I'm pretty sure you do, like a concept of how you walk through the door of knowledge? Like what you may be saying could be right and exact. But when the Prophet Noble Ali posed the question, why is Friday our holy day? That is the entry into the introduction into the cosmology of the lesson. That's just the introduction. You get that, right?
I get that. No, I get that.
So
you know,
Kahaka.
What I'm saying is, people don't even know that. What you just said, there are those who don't know that. They don't know that that's the introduction to cosmology. They don't relate that to cosmology.
Well, people in my temple know. They know that.
No, in your temple. I said that. So I never said.
Matter of fact, we was talking about it today.
Right on, brother. I never use all. I will never use all. All right. But I'm saying because I'm out there, I lecture, I teach classes, I pose questions. And so and that's great. That's great that you're teaching that you're giving that as an introduction lesson to cosmology. All right, then you go in further to detail, and then you go with the etymology. The etymology of Friday will get you there, because you will see that Friday is the Old Norse word for Freya. It's the fertility goddess, and the name for the planet Venus in Old Norse. So once you look at the etymology of the word Friday, it will connect you to the planet Venus. So now you're getting more specific in your cosmology, in your astronomy. So you're not just saying cosmology and astronomy. You're saying Venus. You're more focused in your study, more detail in your study, and you would see the Venetian calendar, that we the Mayans studied and put together and calculated the cycles of Venus. That 5-pointed star that's in the Moorish flag, that denotes the 5 cycles of Venus in 8-year period. So that 5 points, you have here's your cycle, y'all. This is one cycle. Venus as the morning star is a 263 cycle. 263 days. 8 days where near the sun it can't be seen. 263 days where it's the evening star, and 5 days where it can't be seen. That's 584 days. That's one cycle. That's one complete cycle. You do that 5 times, forms that 5-pointed star in the sky.
Hey,
so let me make this point, real please. Let me make this point. The origin of that 5-pointed star is not that flag. That's not the origin. The origin of the 5-pointed star is in the sky. It's a natural pattern that occurs in the sky as Venus makes its 5 cycles, all right, in an 8-year period. So what we did, as the laws of nature, nature's God, and the law looking at correspondence, as above, so below, and as below, so above. So what we did was we mimicked the cosmology onto flags, onto different imagery, all right? But that's not, keep in mind, family, that image is not the origin. The origin is in the sky. It's a natural 5 pentagram is formed when that Venus makes that 5 cycle. That's all I want to do. I want to deal with idol hypnosis. We got to remove idol hypnosis. When we're not worshiping an image, and we understand the origin of it. That's the thing dealing with cycles, particularly the 5 cycles.
So what does all that has to do with Masonry? And
this is Masonry. I mean, let me explain.
Yeah, that's. I want you to tie it all together for us so we can understand.
I'm tying it. What has to do with the Eastern Star? And what this all? Let me phrase your question. What does it all have to do with Masonry? You have an order called the Order of the Eastern Star, and the Eastern Star is that 5-pointed star in the Moorish flag. That's the Eastern Star, which is Venus. That Eastern Star in the 5-pointed star, that Eastern Star that order uses, is the same Eastern Star that's in the Moorish flag, and that ties to Holy Day. That ties to the Holy Day, Friday, because it's the planet Venus. So you have the Eastern Star that's in the order. You have the Eastern Star that's in the. I'm tying it together. That's in the Moorish flag. All right, and you have Holy Day, which is Friday, which is Frega, the day of Venus. And they have in Latin, Viernus Dies, day of Venus. That's how that all ties. So I'm showing that Masonry and Moorish science are one and the same. And that the Europeans have stolen our legacy. So that's a stolen, so what Masonry, what you see and the Europeans' control represents the stolen legacy of the Moorish state.
So with that being said, brother, how does that, with all due respect, with everything you just said, how does that enhance our journey as we move towards liberation, if you will, with all due respect?
Oh, great question. I love you, brother. Let me answer the question. All right. I'm going to give you empirical data, empirical evidence of my involvement, my connections that I've made. When I got on Sonetta TV, my first time that was on Sonetta TV, you know who knows Sonetta, all right, at New York. I was on Sonetta TV for the first time in November of 2013. Prior to being on Sonetta TV, I did my first lecture at the Masonic Lodge. I was invited by Mason at Washington, D.C. The lodge is called the King Solomon Grand Lodge. I did my first lecture at any lodge in July of 2013. First time I appeared on Sonetta TV was in November 2013. I put out my paper called Masonic Gate the following month, December 2013. When I started breaking this down, breaking down the astronomical origin, the connection to what Masonry is, I got Masons would call me from different parts of the country. They were emailing me, calling me. So how does it relate to our liberation? What it does, it will open doors and make connections and bring those Masons and Eastern Stars who are classified as Black, Negro, colored, Latino, Spanish in this Moorish movement. In fact, Sonetta asked me that question in November 2013. He said, why are you reaching out to Mason Eastern Stars? I said to him, the Sonetta, they're already organized. They have a network that's been in place for over 100 years. Already organized. When my upcoming book called Masonic Masonic Conference Square and the connection to measurement and timekeeping. When Conrad, my Masonic connection, posted that on the Masonic Facebook page, which I cannot do. I cannot post my stuff on the Masonic Facebook page. He's a mineral order. He has a code, access code. He posted my book on the Masonic Facebook page. It went worldwide. Masons in Japan, France, Germany, Ireland, and other countries were so fired up about this upcoming book. What I did was I put a halt on working on More Than Masonry Part 2 back in July of 2000 of last year. And I started working on this book, which is coming out in a month. So what I'm envisioning, because of that experience, and my experience on being on Senator TV and getting calls from all over the country after it's all being on Senator TV 4 or 5 times in a year and a half to 2 year period, that it's going to actually open up more doors and make more connections.
Well,
I have that. So I'm saying how it relates to our liberation is that it will bring more people who are already organized, who already have finance, who already have a network in place, and getting them involved in this Moorish movement. The king's tahaka is to get those brothers and sisters be clear that that's the stolen legacy of the Moorish state. They don't see it that way. They see it as a club, that this belongs to order. They don't see, they see the fans, but they see the fans as the hedges that belongs to order. They think it's a Shriner's hat.
Can I engage you for a second?
Come on. Please, brother. Come on,
and brother, because this conversation going, but I got to engage you, brother. When we look at these orders and these people, we have millions and millions of people that right now in the inner city of Baltimore that would be the most qualified to help bring our people up out of this muck that we find ourselves in. I mean, I would rather, personally, I would rather go to those that the Prophet Noble Drew Ali went to. And of course, some Masons came to the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, yet it was reported that the Prophet Noble Drew Ali said to these Masons, take that off. You don't need this. Put this on, and took off the marked up fez and gave them a red fez. And the Prophet Noble Drew Ali was in the south side of Chicago, right in the heart of it with our people. And so I don't see why we got to be jockeying, if you will, those with all of these so-called high degrees that have never jockeyed us, per se. And if they did jockey us, what they did was jockeyed the exclusive educated, what they thought was educated, and then they set them apart from those who were what they were thought were uneducated. And there goes the divide again. So when you look at Moors and Masonry, how does your book bring it all together and make it make sense?
All right. My book, Moors and Masonry, is a history book. And what I do in my book is present historical documentary evidence, and enough to have our people to re-examine the transatlantic slave trade. We've been indoctrinated into believing that we were transported, those who are classified as Black, Negro, colored, and African American in the United States Census Bureau, was transported by the Portuguese, the Spaniards, the Dutch, the French, and the English from 1500s to the 1800s by over 10 million. That is the story that's been presented. What I do is challenge that, provide people enough documentary historical evidence to challenge that claim. The knowledge of our Moorish power during that time period, during the 15, 16, 1700s, is not known by the general public. It's not taught, though you have professors like Linda Colley and Nabir Matar and Robert Davis who teach this, as electives in these major Ohio State University, Princeton University, Minnesota University, and all the other universities. I have the other professors who teach this, but it's not part of the mainstream curriculum. Their classes are electives. They're electives. So it's not part of the main history curriculum where, you know, every student, where 10,000 students are taking the course, you know, in a year period. It's not part of the high school history curriculum or middle school history curriculum, both in European schools and also Asiatic schools. So you're looking at this extensive history of Moors enslaving Europeans. I have, in my book, Moors and Masonry, I have tribute treaties between us, Moroccan Empire, and France, Moroccan Empire, and the Netherlands, Moroccan Empire, and England. So from the 16th throughout the 16 to 1700s. And those tribute treaties were negotiated where we were in a position of power. We weren't going to them asking to negotiate the treaty, tribute treaty. Because the tribute treaty was for them to pay us annual tribute to pass the high seas without being molested. They had to pay for that. There was no free passage. They had to pay for passage.
But isn't that just a history lesson that, you know what I mean? Like amongst many other history lessons.
No, Taka. It's not just a history lesson. But keep in mind, what I'm doing is providing information to us to relook at the transatlantic slave trade. Our people believe in that. Our people believe that story. You have the African American Museum at Washington, D.C., where hundreds of thousands of people in the past 2 years have visited there. So what that does is that African American Museum at Washington, D.C. perpetuates the lie.
So are you saying that no slaves came here from the shores of Africa? None? Not one?
I'm not saying that. I'm saying not that massive
Oh, okay,
trade.
okay. I agree with you on that.
Challenging the massive trade, but I'm showing by showing my book and document that we were in a position of power. They don't teach that. You have European. Let me read something. That's not taught. We were seizing their ships. The Shriners, actually, the Shriners in their parade, they have corvettes. They have miniature corvettes and the actual car corvettes. And they're riding around with miniature corvettes, and they actually have corvettes. Now, why corvettes? Why not Mercedes? Why not other cars? Why corvettes? Why they use corvettes? Because corvette means little ship. Etymologically means little ship. And it's corvette. It's a speedboat, little ship. Where we would ride the speedboat along the ship and seize European ships. We would capture them and capture their entire crew and seize the ship. So what they're doing in the parade is actually representing the history. It's a symbolic of the history. So what this does is that we've got to get our people to change their, as well as they said, in order to change people must change their literature. Our people believe in this story even more so because of that museum. That museum is the worst thing. The worst thing that happened to our people is that museum, brother.
Right.
That's the worst thing that happened to our people is that museum. Hundreds of thousands of people have visited that museum in a 2-year period. That's the worst thing that happened there, because what it does, it perpetuates the false slave trade story.
So
we were in position of, let me finish. We were in position of power during that time period. We were seizing European ships. Europeans were paying us annual tribute. We had Europeans as in bondage. We seized them and held up for high ransom. This is documented. So what it does, it gives you a different frame of outlook, frame of reference of your power.
And brother, like I said, I want to engage you, and I want to do it with all due respect, brother. So you know, you my brother, you my friend. I don't even have to have a test pressure prom. Know for sure that I'm not. I'm just trying to engage you for the insight of the audience. How long have you been studying this? You say
20 years.
And after 20 years, have you established relationships that has established structures or institutions that may lead the way to liberate our people in the way you say, you know, these Eastern Stars, they have finance. These Masons and these Shriners, they have access to this finance. And as you've been teaching it for 20 years, have you found a financial roadmap with all the information that you have acquired?
All right. Let me. The book's only been out for the book's only been out for about a year. To December will have been 2 years. So a lot of my time was doing researching and writing for the book. My being on Senator TV and making connections. So my connections with Masonic orders are recent.
Okay, gotcha.
My news. All right, so it ain't been 20 years. It's not been 20 years where I've been networking with Masonic. I said, I'm going to be clear on that, because I think that you were making the leap that I've been studying for 20 years, so therefore I've been networking with Masons and each star for 20. No, that's not true.
Right.
Not.
Gotcha.
I just want to be clear. My network with Masons and ancient stars opened up when I did that presentation at the King Solomon Grand Lodge in July 2013. That was recorded, and so I began to network with Brother Newby, and Brother Newby sent the newspapers to his high-ranking Masons all over the country. That's 2013. And then it continued, it expanded when I was on Senator TV. And then when I put out my newspaper called Masonic Gate. And then what I had to do, Senator, is I had to put a halt on the newspaper because it was I had to finish the book. So I was more in the laboratory I was working on the newspaper, put out 3 issues, working on the book. So a lot of my time was, working on paper, working on the book, working full time. It was a lot there. So, but these networks, and I'm saying, so when I put out this next book, which will be out in a month, the network is going to grow. And this is why Conrad strongly suggested I put out this book that's coming out called Masonic Compass Square and the Connection to Time, Keeping, and Measurement. Because that's going to really open up a larger network. And I'm going to reissue my newspaper.
Are you a Mason?
Yeah.
Are you a Mason?
By culture and by birth. Yes.
No, I mean literally.
Let me finish. I'm not done answering the question. by culture and by birth, but not by lodge affiliation. I would never answer no to that question.
So you haven't been initiated, if you will.
I'm not a member of any lodge. I am a Mason. So are you. As
no, I'm not, brother. I'm not. That's a European term. I'm not.
No, hear me out, Kutaka. When I say so are you, because you got to, and listen to my answer. Listen to my answer. So if you listen to my answer closely, and once you listen to my answer, you would be saying the same thing I'm saying. I say I am a Mason by culture and by birth, but not by lodge affiliation.
Well, with me, I'm not a Mason. I know Mason is the hijacking of our culture called Masonry. Our culture has nothing to do with Masonry. The European took our culture, repackaged it, called it Masonry, and gave it back to us. I'm not a Mason, brother. No way.
All right. What you're doing, all right. This is what you're talking about, the word.
Yeah, I don't even want to be associated with the word. That sounds like calling me black.
No, hear me out, brother. So I want the audience to be clear. I just want the audience to be clear. It's what Tahaka is saying is that I want to be clear, make sure I'm clear on what you're saying. I want to make sure you're clear on what you're saying.
Yes, sir, brother.
You're not talking about the apron. You're not talking about the gavel. You're not talking about the fairs. You're not talking about so you say Moorish when you're saying Masonry. So you're not associating. I want to make sure I'm clear on what you're saying. Are you not associating the word Mason and Masonry to the gavel, to the apron, to the compass and square, to the 2 pillars of Boaz and Jachin, to the winding staircase, to the checkerboard floor? You're not associating the word Mason to that.
What I'm saying.
I'm asking all
that's all a part of it. That's a part of it. Yes, that's a part of it.
I need to be clear. Are you associated?
That's a part of it. That's a piece of the pie. Absolutely.
Part of what?
That's a part of the Masonic whole the whole gamut of Masonry. That what you just mentioned is just an aspect of Masonry.
No, but so you're saying that?
I'm saying that before there was a term Masonry, whatever our ancestor subscribed to, whether it was Kemetic Adab or Egyptian mystery schools or Adab student, whatever it was before Europeans stole it, repackaged it, and called it Masonry, I take that. I ain't taking nothing that the European repackaged.
Well, let me say this, Tom. Freemasonry is the Egyptian word. Free, FPHPHRE, Messian, children of the light. Freemasonry means chosen. Freemasonry is not of European. The word. I'm about the word. The word is not of European origin. So let me be clear.
When was the first time, brother? When was the first time the term Masonry was used?
I'm telling you, free. P-H-R-E.
No, Egyptians did not speak English, brother. They did not speak English.
It's not an English word of origin. It's not of English origin.
Brother,
I gave you the spelling. Tahaka. It's P-H-R-E. It's not F-R-E-E. Not F-R-E-E. That's been transliterated to modern English. Right. Mason. It's Messian. Messian. M-E-S-S-E-N. It's not of English origin. But there's no words of English origin.
Brother, what I'm trying to say is this. I want to get stuck here. I don't want to get stuck here.
I don't either.
The first time you hear the term Mason in history was uttered from a European mouth.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Anywhere that you can point me, can you point me so I can look it up for the audience real quick?
Yes. You go to Joe Massey. Joe Massey's books. You have the Egypt, the Light of the World. You have look at Joe Massey's books. You have the Natural Genesis. You also have Albert Churchward's book, Arcana of Freemasonry. A-R-C-A-N-A, Arcana of Freemasonry.
So you telling me that those of African origin, as well as North Africa, East Africa, they was using the terminology called Masonry before the conquering, and they learned English?
Absolutely.
Bro, I need to get you on here to screen share some of this.
But the Hopkins, because we don't want to get to the Hopkins. So
no. I want you to talk about your book, brother.
Yeah, let's advance the conversation. I want to be clear. I want to make clear to the listening audience that what they call symbols, that's what they call symbols, Masonic symbols, are measurement tools that belong to us. So that is the Masonry and Moorish science of one and the same. I'm talking about the actual science. There's two pillars that they use in Masonry called the two pillars of Boaz and Jachin, which are not English words. Boaz, B-O-A-Z, and Jachin, J-A-C-H-I-N. Those are two pillars. And those two pillars are the markers for the winter solstice and summer solstice. So what the Europeans have done, using your word, they have hijacked
absolutely
our science. So I don't want the people to dismiss the two pillars of Boaz, the winding staircase, you have the checkerboard floor, you have the altar. I don't want them to dismiss that and say, well, that's the European thing. They'll say, because what happens to
No. Let me be clear. I know it has nothing to do with the European. I'm saying the European hijacked it, repackaged it, and called it Masonry and gave it back to us.
All right. So you're clear that is more science.
I'm clear that this is the science of our ancestors. But
so we good.
I'm clear on that. The only thing I'm saying is, what I would love brothers to do is say, you know what? We no longer calling this masonry. We calling this blah, blah, blah.
Tahaka, I'm not going to get stuck there. I'm not. As long as you're clear, I'm not going to get stuck there.
Absolutely.
I gave you my presentation. I gave you the etymology of the word. So I'm not going to, there's no need for me to repeat it and repeat it. I'm not
no, you good, brother. Floor is yours.
I'm saying, I'm saying, so we're both on the same page. We're both on the same page. That's how we're both on the same page. Let's not deal with the word. I already broke that down. We're both on the same page. Is that the science is ours.
Right.
The science.
That's right.
This is all right. That's why I want to listen on it. All right. The two pillars, the Boaz, the winding staircase, the checkerboard floor, the Freemasonry chasing board, all that. That's ours. The apron, the gavel, that's ours. The compass and square, that's ours. All right. I want people to be very clear on that. So you and I are on the same page. Let's look at what we agree on. To when we'll get stuck on, I don't want us to get stuck on where the disagreement is. Let's focus on where we agree. You and I are locked in step. We are locked in step, brother, on what they call the symbols, which are not symbols, that belong to us. You and I are locked in step on that. We're locked in step on that. All right, so we're good. We're locked in step on that. All right, so that's what I deal with. I break down, I explain the origin. The point within the circle. The point within the circle you have, which is also the Eye of Ra. The point within the circle is also it represents the Eye of Ra, all right, or the sun, which we know Ra is the sun. So you're looking at, you place a pole, and then you tie the pole to the rope, and you formulate a circle. They're called sunstone circles. They have Stonehenge. Stonehenge is one stone circle. So what I do in my book, The Masonic Compass Square and the Connection to Timekeeping and Measurement, is I show that there's the function of what they call symbols. So you and I are lockstep in that. We're clear on that. Now this book, Moors and Masonry, as I said, it's a history book. I'm gonna read excerpts from it. All right. A few months ago, I'm quoting, not my speaking. A few months ago, I was visiting blog sent by Barb's website. She had an interesting article posted about Jefferson and our war against the Barbary pirates. It was a fairly simple read, and thought my 11-year-old grandson might enjoy a story about naval encounters with pirates. As he read the story, he got a really puzzled look on his face. Then he said, "They never told me this." I asked what they never told him. White slaves? I thought all slaves were black. My teacher never said anything. None of my books say anything about there ever being any white slaves. I didn't know. My grandson isn't the only one who believes all slaves were black. Teaching him the truth now could make life difficult for him in school. Regardless of the issue, most kids going into their teens will argue a point to death if they think they're right. It's no different. He'll end up debating the point with a teacher who was herself taught revisionist history. Invariably, sooner or later, the question will come up on a standardized test. The truth doesn't fit the politically correct narrative. And so this here, this is how most people think. That includes Europeans. Europeans will be just as shocked, bewildered, amazed as our people. What? Moors? Don't say black. black people had white people in slavery? What? Nah. Nah. Now, why they saying nah? Because they set what they've been indoctrinated in the schools as truth. Since it's not taught in the schools, therefore it's not true.
So, brother, is this fair to say? Let me say this: is it fair to say that your position is basically just to teach what's not being taught? Is that fair to say?
Yes, for the purpose of enlightening our people. I've more focus in this book. Yes, it's fair to say that. Yes.
Yeah. So let me ask you, what does your book in relation to the Prophet Noble Drew Ali have in common?
Oh, Drew Ali said, great question. Drew Ali said, come on, ye Asiatics of North America, and hear the truth about your nationality and birthright. Here we go. The word birthright. Let me stop there. The word birthright. So what does my book and the Prophet have in common? Hear the truth about your birthright. Our people don't know that this land, North America, all right, and this part that mostly what they call falsely called the United States is their birthright land. They don't know that. As I said before, that museum, the African American Museum, is the worst thing that could happen because it perpetuates that massive slave trade. 10 million of us were transported over here. It perpetuates that. So what my book has in common with Drew Ali is I'm teaching the people their birthright, this land. But so historical documentation as well as archaeological. There's a book called Unexpected Faces in Ancient America by Alexander von Hustenhoff. He has over 150 photos of stone heads, statuettes, figurines, and masks. But broad noses and thick lips.
Didn't the Prophet Noble Drew Ali already cover that when he said the Moroccan Empire extended from Northwest, South Central America? I mean, matter of fact, it extended far as east to North, South, Central. I mean, to the North, Northwest Africa, across the Great Atlantis to the Northwest, South Central America. Didn't the Prophet Noble Drew Ali ever even have that covered though?
Tahaka, what this does is supports Drew Ali. It supports by giving more, by giving documentary evidence to show our people that transatlantic slave trade story from those massive numbers did not take place in the way they said it. So, all right, as you know, millions of people, Tahaka, do not know. Millions. So yes, the Prophet covered that, and what I'm doing, I'm supporting the Prophet. I am supporting his claims by giving people a preponderance of evidence, research that's done by Europeans, not us. Of course, these African scholars don't. The African scholars, y'all, do not do this research. The African scholars do not do this research. They push that African slave trade story. They don't do this research. Absolutely not. This was done by, because remember, this is European history too. When Europeans are doing research on the history, keep in mind, this is also European history. So they're not doing this type of research. They're not supporting the Prophet. So yes, the Prophet made it very clear we have to continue, as Drew Ali said, in order to change, people must change their literature. We need to continue to research and show correlation. And that's what I'm doing. I'm supporting the Prophet.
I don't know. But I heard that statement. I heard that statement a lot. Where did the Prophet say that at? I've heard that statement a long many times. To change the Prophet, you change their literature. Where the Prophet say that at?
All right, you have there's a book called The Quotes by the Prophet. I'll send it to you.
Okay. I hear people quote that all the time. Like, man, I ain't never heard the Prophet say that. But I get what you're saying.
Tahaka, as you know.
I get your point.
For us to reach the people, literature is a legacy. Drew Ali produced literature. How do you know what you know? You read what? You read what? What book? You read what? it begins with a B. It's a B word. You read a book. You read a book. You read a book. So Yall has a legacy. He produced literature.
Prophet,
so I'm following that pattern. No, Yall produced literature.
What literature he produced?
You have the Yall. You have the speeches that he had that's compiled in the Moorish literature.
He didn't produce that.
All right, the Moorish literature. Those are speeches.
No, he didn't produce them. Those are actually, no, brother, they are actually articles out of the Moorish Guide. They're not speeches.
Those are articles in the Moorish Guide. Those are articles in the Moorish Guide.
There was a newspaper article.
The newspaper article that that's compiled into a book. Absolutely.
But he didn't compile them though. He didn't do that.
All right. So he actually had the newspaper called the Moorish Guide, and he had put articles in the Moorish Guide newspaper, which is no longer in circulation. I don't know why. I don't know why. I won't go there. I won't go to.
No, they actually do. They got the Moorish Guide in circulation. A couple bodies got the paper. Matter of fact, Temple number 34 under my brother Y. Cyril. You said Cyril, Grand Sheikh, Divine Minister. He actually is the editor.
All right, good. So let me get a copy. Send me a copy.
Got you.
So we can get it in writing, because when I reissue my newspaper, remember my newspaper was national.
See,
it's gonna be international.
See,
so
this is the thing, brother Mosi Bey. What I'm trying to get to is how we can use what you're teaching in order to liberate the minds of our people, unite our people, and move on the plan as laid out by Prophet Noble Drew. And that's the only reason I ask these questions, brother.
I answered the question, Tom.
Absolutely. No. I'm just reiterating. That's the reason why I asked these questions.
I got you. But I just want to make clear that I answered it.
What is the
most?
most?
What I would be doing is repeating myself.
Yeah. No.
I answered.
In your book, right? In your book, Moors and Masons, and you said Masonry is Moorish science. Why not just call the craft Moorish science and drop the Mason?
All right, what I'm doing, Tahaka, is showing you have hundreds of thousands of our brothers and sisters who are classified as Black, Negro, Color, Latino, Spanish, and African American, who are, I'm not going to say study Masonry, because they don't know Masonry. Most of them don't know Masonry, so most of them don't study Masonry. That's why I stopped. That's why I got paused. Who are involved in Masonic orders. So I'm bridging the gap. My purpose is to bring them and get them involved in this Moorish movement. That's my whole purpose.
So are you a member of a Moorish Science Temple of America?
I am not a member of Moorish Science Temple of America. Though I've gone to Moorish Science Temple of America, though I'm connected to brothers and sisters.
But that's the Moorish movement, though, isn't it?
Let me finish. I am connected with brothers like yourself and sisters who are members of the Moorish Science Temple. I have spoken at the Moorish Science Temple. You have temple, one of the Moorish Science temples at Indianapolis. I spoke there. They brought me in. In fact, they hosted me. And I give in my book, Moors and Masonry. All right, let me read it. All right, in the novelist section of my book, Moors and Masonry. Here we go. Here we go. I'm going to read this. The Moorish Science Temple of America, Incorporated, subordinate temple number 4 at Indianapolis, Indiana. Great honors and much appreciation are owed to the following 3 nobles for hosting myself and the 4 aforementioned brothers. These nobles assisted in planning the logistics for the photos of the 2013 Shriners Parade at Indianapolis, Indiana, Republic Territory, used in Moors and Masonry. William Ward Bay, Grand Major, this is back in 2013. Grand Major Temple, Subordinate Temple number 1 at Indiana, the Moorish Science Temple of America, Incorporated. Grand Governor of Indiana, National Assistant, Grand Sheikh, and Divine Minister. All right? Grand Sheikh Leroy Graves Eel of the Moorish Science Temple of America, Incorporated. Subordinate Temple number 4 at Indianapolis, Indiana, Republic Territory. Assistant Grand Sheikh, who is now the Grand Sheikh. Then he was the Grand Sheikh, Assistant Grand Sheikh. He's now the Grand Sheikh. I speak to him on a regular basis. Assistant Grand Sheikh, S.A. Tenon Bay of the Moorish Science Temple of America, Incorporated. Subordinate Temple number 4 at Indianapolis, Indiana. Divine Minister, National Director of Prison Ministry. They hosted me, all right, and the brothers who attended the parade on 2013 with me, and I also spoke there. I spoke there on a Saturday for about an hour. So they gave me the floor. So I want to give great, that's why I gave great honors to them. And then so what that did was that opened up other doors and connections. You know, and the
Can I ask you? I'm not.
Hold on till I'm talking. Let me finish. So what I'm showing you is that I have connections and I've built relationships with high members, higher officials in the Moorish Science Temple. All right, go ahead. You're the floor.
What I was going to say is I'm not familiar with that name. Who is the Supreme Grand Sheikh of that temple right there?
You have he's now John Tenon Bay. He was the assistant. He was the assistant. He was this at that time in 2013. He was the assistant Grand Sheikh.
No, I'm talking about the Supreme Grand Sheikh of the whole body. Like my temple.
I'm not aware of that right now. I'm not aware.
Okay, well, I'm asking you what people. So another brother asked a question, brother. I'm asking comments from the audience. Another brother asked a question.
And my answer is I'm not aware at this time of who is the Supreme Grand Sheikh. These are the names that I'm aware of. All right, and I do speak to Grand Sheikh, who's now Grand Sheikh Tenon Bay.
Okay,
you know, so
brother,
I have a good relationship with him.
I'm gonna start asking some of these questions from the chat, brother. But you can carry any conversation. The floor is yours.
You can continue to ask questions from the chat because people, you know, they want to know that. All right?
Somebody asked.
You know that you have another question.
Somebody asked, why aren't you a part of a temple or a lodge?
All right. Why I'm not a part of a temple or a lodge? Let me answer the lodge question. I'm not a part of a lodge because they don't teach more Masonry and more science in the lodges. What I have in my like I said, I've spoken at lodges. I've spoken at 4 or 5 lodges already. I have connections to make Masons contact me. I actually teach them, and as well as each stars. So I am not looking to be controlled. You know, I can't do this. You can't do this. I'm looking to make connections and network and bring them into this Moorish movement. So that's why I am not a member of a lodge. All right. Question. Now, why I'm not a member of Moorish Science Temple? I was a member of the temple at Glassboro, New Jersey. And I visited several temples over the years. And what issue that I've had with my involvement with the temples in Glassboro and making connection with other temples is that the level of inactivity, you know, to tell you, you know, you're moving too fast, making those type of comments. I'm telling you, that's why I am not a member of a Moorish Science Temple, because I'm not saying that this is in every temple, it's about my experience, so I can talk about it. It's the criticism that was put on me that I received for being active. That's why.
I think a lot of that comes to the point where people got to understand that if you're moving as a team, the team got to move together. And you can't move out without the team, though. You know what I mean? The team got to move together. You know what I mean? So I think, but this is a new era now, though. But let me ask you before we.
I just wanted to answer the question. That's it. So I can only
Yeah.
talk. That's my experience.
Okay. So another person asked, the unknown lyricist. He asked, how many times do you have to die in masonry?
How many times do you have to die in masonry? All right. The concept of death. If you talk, they're talking about that's symbolic, of course, and that they one of the deaths that takes place is the death of the sun. The concept of the death and resurrection of the sun is the winter solstice, because the stories that are told, the allegories relate to an astronomical and cosmological reality. So the story of Haim Beth being buried in a shallow grave. The story of Haim Beth, you see, that's the story of the sun, the actual sun, going through the 4 seasons. So that's the death that they're talking about, the death of the actual sun.
All right.
And that's the winter solstice, which is December 21st, where the sun is at its lowest point of declination. The sun rises the lowest in the sky, which is December 21st is also the shortest day of the year.
Indeed. So now I'm gonna ask you some questions, brother. What is people consider to be the Masonic secret? Everybody says a secret is a secret is a secret. What are they actually talking about when they say that?
All right, the Masonic secret is us. Moors were classified as that our nationality, our birthright, inherited land, our natural resources, our government,
so
our culture,
so brother,
our philosophy.
Can I interrupt 1 second? Because on that plane of thought right there, if that be the case, and you have Asiatic brothers claiming masonry, aren't they a part of the conspiracy if they're not telling us these things?
All right. So you're assuming, all right, that's your question.
That's the question.
No, I know that. I know it's a question. Your question assumes that they know.
Right. Absolutely.
All right. That's your question assumes that they know. All right. Because they're Mason, because they're in the order, they know that they know. I'm saying you're assuming that they know that we're Moors. You're assuming that they know that this is our birthright inherited land. You're assuming that they know that masonry is astronomy and cosmology. You're assuming that they know that. And I've come across since 2013. I've come across quite a few Masons through telephone conversations, emails, and actually speaking at lodges that most of them do not know. I once assumed, Tahaka, that they knew. I once assumed that. I once assumed that the level of teaching that's in my upcoming book is taught in Masonic orders. It's not taught like that. A lot of the brothers the Europeans and some brothers who get this information, they get it through independent research. They don't get it where there's actual classes going on in Masonic orders like that. Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
So
and I got this from I have developed relationships and friendships with Masons from different parts of the country.
So it's safe to say that most Asiatic so-called Black Masons have no clue about that secret, but they know the rest of them, but just not that one.
I don't know what they say rest of them. I don't see once you.
I'm just saying it got to be something else because.
No, Tahaka, I can't answer something that's not clear to me. So when you say rest of them, what do you mean by rest of them?
I'm talking about the rest of it. Got to be some other secrets that you take an oath for, and so. The rest of them I'm referring to is the other secrets that they take the oath for, because obviously you just said many of them don't know the secret that you just gave up.
I list about 6 or 7 in detail. Let me say this. When I was at the class at New York about 2 months ago, I was explaining the astronomical origin and function of the two pillars of Boaz and Jachin as their markers for the winter solstice and summer solstice. And I gave a very extensive, detailed presentation for 3 hours. At the end of the class, a brother, Elijah Initiated Mason, he came over to me and says, brother, I took an oath not to reveal the names of the two pillars, but I did not know the significance of it. I said, class, will you tell that to the class? He didn't know the significance of it. So what they do, Tahaka, is they make our brothers, sisters think they are important, are special, that they're getting something that's special because if they giving an oath. Oh, yeah, you taking an oath, a blood over there, not to reveal this. Whoa, you get some. The brother told me he didn't even know the significance of it. So he was no further along than you, Tahaka. He was no further along than those who are listening in our listening audience. What does it mean that you know the two pillars if you don't know the significance of it? That means nothing. That means nothing. Because you can say Boaz, you can identify the pillars as Boaz and Jachin, but you don't know you know nothing. So they make them think that they're special because it's given to, oh, don't tell this. What are they telling? That the two pillars are called Boaz and Jachin?
Well, I have a brother in the chat right now. Shout out to AkronHipHop.com, who was on the show last week. He's a bona fide certified Mason. And I would love to hear y'all two have a conversation. That'll be something good for a good old dialogue. Because the brother to me, he says, man, the secret is pretty much not a secret. He said, basically, watch my moves and all the secrets that you think are secret will be revealed.
I don't know what I don't know what that means, brother.
Meaning that he demonstrates what Masonry is in his everyday life. Building communities and making connections and advancing the plight of our people. He said that's Masonry.
All right. Oh, good. All right, good. I'm open to working with him, brother.
Yeah, I'm just saying now, I can't speak all his words for him, but I'm saying in a nutshell, that's what he's saying. The secret is that, if you watch how he moves, that's just what it is. Helping the community, building community service, community activism. He said that's the epitome of what Masonry is. And so when you start breaking down the pillars and all that, is that just the educational aspect of Masonry?
All right. No, all right. Let me explain, Sahaka. You cannot navigate a ship. I thank you, brother, because there's an open up this door now. One cannot navigate a ship without the knowledge of spherical trigonometry and astronomy, which is Mason and more science. What our ancestors did, we charted the constellations. We did that. In charting the constellations, we were able to measure the distance of the Earth. In charting the constellations, we were able to make a calendar for knowing when to plant, knowing when to harvest. So we can talk about reaching out. If you don't know how to plant, knowing when to plant, because that's what that Mayan calendar. You have the Sirius calendar. That's what those calendars were determining when to plant and when to harvest. So we got it. So I hear what the brother's saying about outreaching, but I want to be clear that Masonry dealing with the civilization building of map making, calendar making, timekeeping and measurement. These are important. These are absolutely important. The only reason why it's not in our minds because we're not ruling. We don't rule. We're not ruling right now. So Europeans are misgoverning us. But we put these things in place, and the Europeans are using it. You look at the news. I'm sure the brother looks at the news for the weather report. Now, note, I'm sure the brother has a GPS. What's that? What's a GPS? What's a GPS? How does that work? How was that determined? How GPS? What's the calendar? A map. How's a map? What's the basis of developing a map? Called cartography, astronomy, and spherical trigonometry. Geography. What's that? Astronomy and spherical trigonometry. So these things that we use every day, of course, we take because we don't know the origin of it. We don't know that it's astronomy and trigonometry. We don't know that it's more science and masonry. We don't know that. And without those things, you have a civilization. No. Meaning we wouldn't be talking about outreaching anywhere. You wouldn't be talking about outreaching anywhere if these things are not put in place. Because you'll be starving to death. We're not doing our farming. Somebody else is doing it for us. But if you have to do your own farming, then you have a different mindset. We go to the supermarket. So we're not thinking about, charting, looking at the ephemeris. We're not thinking about looking at the ephemeris or farmer's almanac or knowing when to plant, knowing when to harvest. We go to the supermarket.
But wouldn't it be?
What I'm doing to Haka what I'm doing is explaining the application of Masonry and Moorish science. And it's important. It's important. Now, the problem is that we're not governing. We're not ruling. That's why. So we just go to supermarkets. We're not ruling. This is the knowledge of rulership.
But wouldn't it be more intelligent, I'm saying, with all due respect, for us to organize the people and then disseminate this information?
All right. As I said before, Tahak, I'm going to reiterate this. My purpose is, it's not so much my wanting to teach the people astronomy and spherical trigonometry. That's really not my interest. That's not really what my focus is, to bring them in this movement. And this was the way in which, and over 10 years ago, when it really dawned on me on what this was, like, oh, this is a way in which I can reach out to thousands of our brothers and sisters who are Masonry to stars. If I can explain, if I can in detail what they are aligned with, and I can explain in detail, that's a doorway for me to network. And guess what? I was right.
But when you say you can lead them into this Moorish movement, like the Moorish movement is the Moorish Science Temple of America, though. That's what the Prophet Abdullah Ali created. So how do you say, All right.
Tahaka is to get them to recognize that they're Moors.
Right.
All right. Whether they're in a temple or not, if they recognize and proclaim their Moorish nationality, so when they go to their workplace, they're not checking black off anymore. Not checking black off. They stand what? A check. They're writing in Moorish American. And we get hundreds of thousands of our brothers and sisters to do that. Where they're writing Moorish American at the job, when they're sending the children to school, and they're filling out the application, they're putting Moorish American down and not checking black off. We get hundreds of thousands of people to do that. Where's what? Active in the job, recreation centers, schools. Right now, millions of our people are checking black off. Black in the schools, recreation centers, at the work, at their job, checking black off. That needs to change. When they're now what? Writing in Moorish American. That changes. That's a huge change. That's what I'm talking about.
I got you, brother.
Organizing, and let me finish this. I wouldn't have to organize the Masons Easter Stars. Why? They're already organized. They're already organized.
But they're not organized for our purpose, though. Stop that, brother.
Let me finish my point. I would not have to organize Masons Easter Stars. They're already organized, and they have a network already in place.
But it's not for our benefit. After all of these years since Prince Hall, and we as a people still, we are in a worse condition. So
you're missing my point. You're missing my point, brother. I'm saying right now it's not, because they're unconscious. I'm with you.
Okay, I got you. I see what you're saying. I'm with you. I'm with you.
Oh, thank you. That's all I'm saying. Thank you.
Yeah, I see what you're saying now.
Consciousness. I'm talking about consciousness.
Right.
When they become conscious, that changes their activity. That changes how they see themselves. That's what I'm saying. I'm with you. Of course, it's not for our benefit. It's for the Europeans' benefit right now. We can change that, though.
I see. I got you. I see what you're saying, brother. Brother, I would love for you to come back, brother, and have a conversation. I got two other Mason brothers brother, are you available for next week? I think if I bring you on here with some Mason brothers, I got two brothers that I would love to come on a panel and have a conversation, brother. I think
yes, let's do that.
I'm gonna pencil you in right now. I think this is a pretty good conversation. I think this is a pretty good conversation.
What I'll do on that show is I'll go into detail as to what the measurement instruments, the functions.
Yeah, I'm gonna get
measurement instruments that they call symbols.
I'm gonna get my brother Dolo. I'm gonna get Dolo tomorrow. I'm gonna get my brother Basil out of Texas. I'm gonna get my brother Harold, Akron Hip Hop, and you. Oh my goodness, that's gonna be a powerful show.
Right on, brother.
I would love that, brother. I would love that. And we'll
each have a chance to talk and speak. That's fine.
So I'm gonna say next Sunday.
All right.
Y'all gonna think I'm into this Masonic stuff for real. I'm really not. No. But no. Because
Tahaka, be clear. Once again, because what happens when you say y'all want to think I'm in this Masonic stuff. What people are going to think, Tahaka, all right. I'm not talking about. We already talked about the words. We don't want to get caught up. So you and I are locked in step. We need to be clear that the imagery, that the apron, the fez, the pillars, and the point it's all ours.
And we shouldn't call it Masonry, because when our people wore it exclusively, it wasn't called Masonry.
Brother, I'm going to stick with, I am going to focus, Tahaka, on what you and I are lockstep in.
That's right. But brother,
because I'm not going to see, my thing is, Tahaka, is that I'm not going to quibble over the word. I already gave the etymology of it. I'm not going to quibble over that and then make that, I can't deal with the Tahaka anymore.
No.
Because I'm just making a point. I'm saying I am not going to quibble over the word. When you and I are already locked in to the measurement tools that are ours. Because I don't want to get to the point that I can't deal with the Tahaka, because you don't see that the etymology of masonry is this. I'm not going to quibble that. I'm not going to quibble that. I want to focus on what do we agree on. What are we lockstep on is that the apron, the gavel, the fez, the two pillars of Boaz and Jockin, the winding staircase, the checkerboard floor, the Freemasonry chasing board, the point within the circle with the two parallel lines, the Eastern Star, the crescent in the star, the shrine that stole from us are ours.
I'm with you, brother. You know I'm with you on that. So we cool. And you know that I know without a doubt. However, the unsuspecting public, I know the historical context that these Europeans hijacked our science and called it Masonry. And so I'm not associated with that. But now the principle and the essence of what these Europeans then hijack, absolutely. That's how people, I got a matter of fact, my video on this channel that has went 50,000 views displays that. You know what I mean? So it's good. But the point of the matter is, brother, what I want you to do is, if anybody is interested in your book, where can they find it?
Yes, you go to, thank you for this, moorsandmasonry.org. Moors, Moors, the word and masonry, MASONRY.org. moorsandmasonry.org.
So family, I'm telling you now, I do not endorse Masonry on any level, but I do understand what the brother is trying to convey. That basically Masonry is Moorish science. It's a deeper science. And y'all can see I'm on the page right here. It's moorsandmasonry.org. It's on the page. He got Moors and Masonry. He got Illuminati and Illumination of the Mind. He got my brother right there, David Banner. So Moors and Masonry Part 2 and all of that. Now, like I said, I don't endorse any terminology that the European has hijacked and then held for ransom. That's not what I do. That's just me, brother. That's just me. But I do get what you're doing. I do get what you're doing. I understand what you're doing. And it's clear what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? You made it clear what you're doing. Brother, I'm just, listen, if I created an order, it would be the Moorish Science Order of Nobles or something. It wouldn't be Masonry.
Hey, brother, I don't have a problem with that.
And when we go to the temple, we go to the Moorish Science Temple of America. I'm just saying.
Hey, brother, no, hey, brother, I'm cool with that. I love it. In fact, I love the title. I might hijack that from you.
Brother, I just freestyled that. I know.
Well, that's what we do, bro.
Hey, brother, listen. I appreciate you, brother. I know many people might have said, don't you come on that brother Talib Bay show. That brother gonna get you. That brother gonna argue with you. And brother, at the end of the day, we are brothers. You know that, right?
But you know what, Tahaka? I was determined to stay the course and have healthy dialogue. I was determined to do that, and I think I achieved that.
And I think you did too, brother. And for that, I'm going to bring you back for another healthy dialogue where my mouth ain't even going to get a whole bunch of time to talk, just like I tried to do tonight, because we're going to bring a panel on here and we're going to have a nice dialogue. We're going to have a nice dialogue talking about this Masonic and Moorish relation. My thing is this: at the end of the day, Prophet Noble Drew Ali brought us everything we need. And as I study the works of the Prophet, I can see through all this trickery, madness, symbolism, esoteric, and all of these metaphorical teachings that has been placed upon us to put shackles on our mind. The Prophet Noble Drew Ali, he gave me the keys. And so that's why I promote, I push it, and I'm going to keep on pushing it, because Prophet Noble Drew Ali gave me the keys to wake up and deceive the world for what it is. The same way that you're talking about. I learned to see it through the spectacles of the lessons of Prophet Noble Drew Ali. So anything you'd like to say in closing is 11:07 of the hour. We coming back next week. Don't forget, but if the floor is yours, take how much time you like in closing, brother.
All right. I want to thank you, brother. All right, for bringing me on. I'm looking forward to being on next Sunday with my brothers, so we can give the people the truth about the astronomical origin and function of what masonry is. We're talking about the measurement tools. We're talking about the measurement tools that they call symbols. They are not symbols. So what I focus on is giving the people the proper representing of what Moorish science is and showing the connection. We are caught up with what I call idol hypnosis. We are worshiping the measurement tools because we don't know that they're measurement tools. We think they're symbols. So I focus in my book, Masonic Compass and Square, and the connection to timekeeping and measurement, which is 5 chapters, which will be available in about a month. You can also go to moorsandmasonry.org if you want to pre-order the book. All right, the book will be available in a month, and I'll be coming from my book next Sunday. So once again, to get the book Moors and Masonry, go to moorsandmasonry.org. All right, this is a 237-page book. I spent most of my adult life in researching and studying for this to prepare this book, to bring this book to you. I want to thank you again for Tahaka for making this venue platform available so that I can reach out to the people. And I thank the listening audience for tuning in and giving me their ear. All right. Once again, I'll give honor and praise to Noble Drew Ali for establishing this Moorish movement to bring us back into the constitutional fold of government.
Brother, I wanted to ask you one question that I failed to ask. In the beginning of the show, you said if you ask somebody what is Moorish science, you will hear a pin drop. So let me ask you, yes. What is Moorish science?
All right. I gave a great example when I broke down the holy day.
No. I'm saying when you say you ask somebody what is, for instance, if I ask somebody what is an automobile, oh, it's a car that runs on an automotive motor and da da da. When I ask you what is Moorish science, what do you say?
All right, Moorish science. The etymology of the word science, coming from the Latin, SCI is the root word, which means know. So Moorish science is the knowledge and philosophy of the Moors, which is cosmology, astronomy, philosophy, and geometry that we use to build and maintain civilization, map making, calendar making, navigating ships, harvesting. So that's what Moorish science is.
Okay, got you. So the reason why you hear a pin drop when you ask somebody what's Moorish science, because there is no definitive, concise, across the board defined definition. So of course, if I say to you what is Moorish science, you'll say one thing. If I say to another person in California what is Moorish science, he'll say another thing. And if you go to a group of Moors, you ask what is Moorish science, of course you're going to hear a pin drop, because there is no consensus on what is Moorish science. Well, we have a running definition of what Moorish science is, though. You know what I mean?
What is your running definition of Moorish science?
Our running definition of Moorish science, it is a Moorish science is a body of knowledge based on the identification which distinguishes and separates the descendants of slaves from the institution of slavery. And then you can begin to break down the body of knowledge, what that is. You can begin to break down what is based on identification. But basically, in the temple, we got basic meanings with deeper essence of purpose. So Moorish science is a body of knowledge based on the identification which distinguishes and separates the descendants of slaves from the institution of slavery. That is our running definition. You follow me? So,
brother, I'm not gonna. That definition is fine. I'm with you on that, brother. As I said, brother, I am gonna focus on what do we agree, and I have no problem with that definition. I'm more focused on what we have in common.
Oh, absolutely, brother. I'm just saying. Only thing I'm saying, brother, is that we need to. Yeah. Only thing I'm saying is that as we teach it our people, you know, in my temple, man. Shout out to my, one of the ministers. He's in the chat. Well, another one of the minister sisters. She's in the chat. And brother, if you would sit down at the table with us or one of our meetings, you would say, whoa, this is not your grandfather's Moorish science. Because basically, a touch of what you was talking about today, we studied a tad bit of it in our Quran class today. We was talking about the cycles of time, brother. We was talking about the cycles in the cosmos and we was making it plain. So and the Moorish Science Temple of America, Noble Temple, brother, we not caught up in them old ways. We waking our people up. So I appreciate you, brother. And I'm looking forward to next week, my brother. I want you to have the last word. Go to mooresandmason.com, .org, if you're interested in this book. And the brother gonna be back. And I like the brother because the brother, I know a lot of people told that brother, don't you mess with that Tahaka Bay. He hate Taj. Don't you mess with that Tahaka Bay. Don't you go over there. But the brother reached out to me, and I want people to know that I don't have no problem with anybody who say that they represent Moorish or otherwise. If we can be respectful to one another, I have never called Taj out his name. I never will. I've never cursed that Taj. I never will. I may disagree with some of the information. I may even disagree with some of the information my brother Mosi Bey said. But guess what the brother Mosi Bey said? Or Mosi Bey said? He said, you know what, brother, we're not going to get caught up in that. We ain't going to bother with that. Let's go with what we both understand. Do we understand that these Europeans hijacked our science? Okay, you don't want to call it masonry. I say it's masonry. Guess what? We're going to deal with that they hijacked our science, and I'm going to teach it. And that's how brothers and sisters learn to have a disagreement, yet and move on common understanding. And I honor you for that, my brother. But close out for us, brother. The floor is yours.
All right. Once again, the misconception of history, and I said before that the African American Museum is the worst thing that could happen for us because it further perpetuates the lie. We were clear that I focus on Moorish power. We had tremendous power. Looking at where we ruled Europe, we ruled. What I didn't focus on real quick is the Knight Orders, the Crusades against the Moors, and the Knight Orders. Those Knight Orders, the Knights Templar, Knights of St. Stephen's, Order of Christ, Knights of Malta. These are orders. These are military orders that were established to fight against the Moors. We had the Crusade period of 1095 to 1235. The Moors ruled Portugal, Sicily, parts of southern France, Spain for a period of 800 years. The Europeans formed together to gain control of Europe from the Moors, and that they launched the Crusades against the Moors from 1095 to 1235. During that time period, the Knight Orders, military orders were established. The Knights Templar were established in 1118. Order of Christ 13, but the Order of Christ was actually an extension of the Knights Templar, was established in 1316. We had the Order of St. Stephen's was established in 1565. These orders exist today. Our brothers, I said to one of my brothers that you have no business being a member of the Knights Templar. That is an order. That's a European military order that was established to fight against the Moors. He said, well, you know that the order on the Knights Templar was established to take the Holy Sepulchre to Mecca. I said, brother, that's the history they told you? That's a military order that was established in 1119 to fight against the Moors. The Knights Templar are revered today in Portugal. Why? Because it was the Knights Templar that fought against the Moors to regain control of Portugal from the Moors. He has a distorted history about the Knights Templar. We have no business being a member of those Knight Orders. But they are military orders that were established to fight against us, and today, because we're totally defeated, we're prisoners of war, or spoils of war in our own land. We don't know it. So their night orders are, though they maintain as charity orders, but their mission, they're clear on their mission of maintaining the oppression and colonization of the Moors in our homeland, which is North America, Central America, South America, and the Jordan Islands. And with that, I end. I do have, that's in chapter 1. I do explain that in chapter 1 of my upcoming book, Masonic Compass Square, and the connection to measurement and timekeeping. All right, once again, you can pre-order the book. You can go to mooresandmasonry.org. I want to thank you, Tahaka. I'm looking forward to next week, and I can really get into detail about the measurement tools and the focus measuring points and calculation systems and points that they call symbols. I don't see symbols. I see astronomy. I see measurement and timekeeping. I see measuring markers. I don't see symbols. Right. Just like someone who studies calculus, they see the function sign. They don't see that as a mere symbol because they know the function of it. So they're thinking function and application. Once you know the function and application of it, that's where your mind goes. Your mind not going, oh, that's a symbol, that's a symbol. You're looking at the function and application of it.
Indeed.
That problem is, all right? So I want to thank you again, and I'm looking forward to next Sunday.
Hey, brother, I'm looking so forward to it. Shout out to PB Mosi Bey. They just tuned in. Can't believe you got Abdullah on the show. Absolutely, brother. A lot of them ran from me because they think I'm going to attack them. But I just got a difference of opinion on subject matter. This brother didn't run from me. This brother actually ran to me. See, he reminds, look, family, on closing, right? I used to mess with pit bulls, right? And the way you pick a good pit bull puppy, you go to the litter and you drop a big book. Boom! And the ones that scatter, you don't pick that one. The one that run to the book and sniff the book, you grab that one, because that one is a thoroughbred. So Abdullah Talib Mosi Bey is a thoroughbred. He ran to me. He called me. He ran to me. He's a thoroughbred. That's just what it is.
I'm just confident in what I do know, brother. And I wanted to be able to, make the connection with you and also our people.
Indeed.
So I had no issue of coming on the show, and those some of those comments were made, absolutely. All right.
Well, next week, brother.
There was no uncomfortability with me because I was very clear, as to what I know and what what my position is and how to deliver.
Well, next week, brother, I'm going to challenge some of this Eddie Mon stuff. That Mason is our word. And I got it, brother. I already got it. I'm telling you, I got the greatest researchers on the planet Earth. They have been dropping stuff in my inbox while the show was going on. So we're going to have a good conversation. But, brother,
I'll drop stuff your way too.
But, brother, I will not disrespect you, nor would I ever, if I cut you off, do what you did tonight. Hold up, brother. Let me finish. And I get myself. Because I'm not a disrespectful person. That's not how I get down. I'm a hyperactive person, but not disrespectful. You follow me?
Right. And I only say let me finish because as I'm going through a thought, I want the listeners.
That's right. I get it.
To hear the thought, so we can just flow. That's why.
I get it. So with that, family, thank you again. I don't want this to run on too much longer because we know we are in the ADHD. We are in the ADHD generation, and once it gets past an hour and a half and 2 hours, our people, the message are getting lost. And so we're going to cut this off, and I'm going to see y'all probably on Tuesday or Wednesday with another show. I would love to have my brother Shabazz. He's an elder, or I didn't even want to say elder. He's a sharp brother from the Gods and Earth community. I'm going to try to get Brother Shabazz Shabazz on here to break down some of the science of the gods of the earth. I think that'll be a night. And Brother Shabazz, you may have seen him on Sinetta TV on 125th. If I can get Brother Shabazz on here, oh my goodness, we're gonna have a conversation because Brother Shabazz like to come over here and talk some stuff. You know what I mean? So S-Bay, let me say this to S-Bay. He said, I don't care for debating. I don't care for debating. Leave that for Sinetta. S-Bay, listen, debating is a healthy form of investigating or sharpening each other's wits, swords, and understanding. Debating is wrong when it gets disrespectful. When it gets disrespectful. But there is nothing wrong with debating a point or producing evidence of a point.
There's nothing wrong with debate.
But disrespecting within a debate is wrong, and I won't have it on this platform. If the debate go down on here, if you ever seen a debate on Moorish World TV, we have a moderator, we have a time, we're going to have it just like it does in from collegiate style. We ain't going into no circus. No, we ain't doing that.
No. Good,
but what we will do is when we have a dialogue, that we will even measure that by time. So everybody can get their fair shake and say their piece when we have more than 1 or 2 or 3 people on here, because we want to wake people up, you know, and wake people up. You know what I mean? Once we wake people up, the thing is that what are we going to do with this force that's awakened? It is what it is. I mean, it is what it is. So my brother Nagaz said we got to start dialogue on solutions. Brother, believe it or not, Nagaz, I got a solution working right before our face. Matter of fact, before I go, I got to share this. I got to do this, family, real quick. Family, what I'm doing is I am about to centralize. It's already in effect. Let me share it with you. I am going to centralize how you get your Moorish science. It's already in effect. The MoorishWorld.com coming soon. It's the digital Moorish empire, Moorish media and marketplace, Moorish American news, Moorish American entertainment, books from authentic Moorish American scholars, authors, Moorish American apparel, authentic Moorish American music, and so much more. Even if you're not proclaimed Moorish American, we have a spot for you. We have a spot for you. Moorish World TV and the Moorish World brand will be taking over social media. Give it a little bit of time and you will see. This will be the place to be. This will be the Amazon of the conscious community, if you will. This will be the marketplace where everybody will come to get all the most important things as it relates to the elevation, as well as the swag and your entertainment. Best believe that. And the latest news, some gossip maybe. If you want to advertise or put your link with this website that will be up October the 1st, Moorish World TV at gmail.com. Email me for the details. We got a lot of people already signed up. A lot of people already ready to swipe the card, then swipe the card and it's not expensive. Trust me on this one. It's not expensive. But family, this is going to be the next big thing. If you have clothing line, it will be advertised through Moorish World TV on any social media platform that we have. Commercials will be made. It will be even connected to other social media platforms. I'm telling you, this is going to be a big deal. So if you are interested, if you're not, no problem. But if you are interested in getting your finance right, we need advertising. We need promotion. Here is your promotional depot right here. Moorish World, the MoorishWorld.com coming soon. If I get an overflow, an influx of people, some people going to have to wait until they get processed, because right now we're freestyling this thing. We're freestyling this thing and we're processing people right now that want their stuff on there. you know, that want their stuff on there. It's serious. And Brother Nagas said a Moorish World newspaper is a must. Brother, we have a digital newspaper coming, as well as our temples will be carrying the Moorish Star, which is going to be a periodical of the Moorish Science Temple of America Noble Temples. So absolutely right. But we will have a digital. Man, I'm telling you, we're going to be asking people to submit stories. We're going to be asking people. You know what I mean? We're going to be asking people to submit all sorts of information. We're going to ask people to do that. We need everybody to submit information, write an article. Whatever the case may be, this is going to be the family's depot for all information, all apparel, and all things related to Moorish. Even if the brother, what's my brother, Red Pill, if he wanted to connect his link there, it'll be there. His what you call his apparel. Brother Oak from Amen Rod Squad, he can have a link there. You see, he can have a commercial on the page. You know, we know with the internet, we can run a whole page, a digital page, and you can be able to go anywhere you want. You come there and you can go anywhere you want. We're about to centralize this thing. The Moorish Empire is back in effect digitally. We need to get our finances right. And we don't need to, I don't need to jockey after anybody, except for my people who are struggling, striving to get their finance back. Right. You feel me? So here we go. I appreciate the brother. I can't wait till next week, and we're going to do it again. With that, I said peace and love, family. And I'm going to have to edit this down because I talk too much. I'm going to edit the front down on my intro because I talk too much. And I want people to get this message. With that, I said peace and love. Thanks a lot. And I'll see y'all in a few days. I'm out.